Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to discuss how to make a really nice backswing that enables you to play your best shots. Now, I'm often telling people the backswing doesn't matter as much as some other parts of the golf swing, because if you look at the world's best players, you could look at a Shane Lowry at the top of the swing, compare it with a Matt Wolff or a Raymond Floyd or anyone else for that matter. They all look a little bit different, right? And I think that's where sometimes people are guilty of saying, okay, look at all these different variations, look at all these different things they do, and they concentrate on those differences rather than the samenesses that they exhibit, and concentrate on those, and they have it as a sort of a leeway for themselves to say, okay, because they're all different in some of these regards, some of these aspects, it's okay for me to be different and to do whatever I want and swing my swing as well. Now, of course, that isn't true at all. They have many similar patterns, and even players who look very idiosyncratic at the top start to line things up nicely as they come down, and it matches the ball flight they're trying to hit. And in actual fact, there are so many nice pieces, obviously. Otherwise, how could they possibly be the best players in the world when we look at them? So, today's video, the difference, essentially, what I want you to understand is how you can separate the hand path, the trajectory of the hands going back, and the club head path, the trajectory of the club head as the club goes back. So, to first understand where the hands and club need to go, I'm going to represent our target line on the ground with these sticks. So we have a target line right here, like so. And then, because the club is built on a tilted angle, it's built on a rooftop, that means that as the club head goes back on its arc, it's going to go back up and in, like so. Likewise, the hands during the backswing are going to go in a similar direction, back, up and in. So it's these two concentric circles as the golfer takes both the hands and the club head back, up and in throughout the time and space of the backswing. We're now going to differentiate between the hand path and the club head path, and we're going to start with the hands. So very important, as I said, the hands are going to go backwards, upwards, inwards, incrementally throughout the backswing. And I do have some reference points for this when you're filming yourself in your own swing. So as you go back, the hands go back, up and in. When the lead arm's parallel to the ground here, you'll notice my arm is angled inwards. So the left arm, the lead arm, isn't pointing back at the camera, it's pointing inwards. The hands are towards the base of my trail bicep as you look at this picture right here. Then, as I continue making my backswing, you'll notice at the top of the swing, my hands are to the left-hand side of my trail shoulder as you're watching the video, and they're not lifted above the pitch of the shoulders. So my hands at the top of the swing are to the left-hand side of my trail shoulder, and they're not lifted above the pitch of the shoulders. So that's the hand path. The hands go back, up and in incrementally, and that is creating depth, which is the movement that's going inwards like this behind you, the golfer. So depth is in this direction, behind. Now, while you're doing this back, up and in motion with the hands, the club head works very much in the same manner. And what can happen to golfers is that they'll do one or both incorrectly, okay? So let's assume you're doing the hand path really nicely, you're right here, and your club shaft here is still lined up with your lead arm, just as it was at setup. So effectively, this setup position you had is still there, but rotated to this position right here because of the tilting, extending and turning of the body, okay? While you could be there, in reality what you see very often is golfers end up in this position right here, and the club head ends up excessively behind the hands at that same point in time. So important to understand the hands have gone on a good journey here, but the club head's gone too far inside. Now what is the separator here? You can see it a little bit. I'm starting to add flexion to my lead wrist. That's a contributory factor to the club head moving excessively behind the hands. You can also see how I'm starting to pronate my lead forearm, possibly supinate the trail forearm like so, okay? So what the golfer has to understand there, it's not that he's made a bad hand path by getting the hands in, it's just that he's made an additional motion with the forearms or wrists that's made the club head move inwards excessively. So again, the feeling there shouldn't be, oh, I'm straight away going to default to, I've seen my club head's too far behind, so I'm going to try and go back in a straight line, because then you're off playing right from the get-go with both the hands and the club head. So you have to maintain the back up and in relationship of the hands, and you simply have to make sure the club head is in position. Now in reality, I'm asked the question quite often, okay, how do I do this? What should it feel like? What's my task? How do I make this happen? In reality, there is no better way than simply looking in a mirror or filming your swing and doing it slowly. So I'm going back up and in incrementally with both the handle and the club head, and I'm right here pretty much where I want to be. I look at it, I can check it visually. Yeah, I can see my club shaft is on plane. I can see that by the fact that it's relatively parallel to the target line. In fact, you want it just maybe a little bit inwards, but that's a nice position here. And the club head isn't excessively to the right as I look at it, or to the left of my hands. It's not excessively to the right, it's not excessively to the left. It's just a fraction to the right as I look at my hands right here, okay? When you do that, do it a few times and just try and acquire the feel. What does that feel like to you? What's powering that backswing move? And I'd very much like it to be, again, like I said, the tilting, extending, turning of the body, like so. So you're not making any big independent motions with the hands and forearms. It's back, up and in, hands and club head. Check where it is and acquire the feel for it. There are no magic tricks. You need to first of all deliver that picture and feel what it feels like to you. If you see a picture where you're going back and your hands have gone inwards like this and your club head this time is too far outwards, what do you know has happened? Well, you've probably started to extend this lead wrist a little bit more than you had set at P1 at the setup position, and you've possibly started to roll your forearms as a right-handed player counterclockwise, so you started to supinate the lead forearm, and it's had this effect, okay? So again, the remedy, there's no magic pill, simply back up and in, torso is controlling the ascent of the hands and the club head by the turning, tilting, and extending, like so. You've got the picture, and then continue from there. But again, like I said, what's super, super important as you're doing this is that you stop thinking to yourself, okay, my club head's too far in, because this is the one that you see the most commonly. It's people complain that the club head is too far inside, and golfers straight away attribute the blame to both the hands and the club head, and the golfer tries to go up in a straight line like this. And that is very much a slice move, something you want to avoid doing at all costs. The golf club is designed on a tilted angle, on a rooftop. If it came with instructions, possibly golf manufacturers should start to provide some instructions. The handle, the club head are going back up and in incrementally. Back up and in. Never linearly towards the camera, okay? That's super, super important. So hopefully this has given you a few more details on hand path and club head trajectory. how they are independent of one another, and you want it to look like this. You want it to be these concentric circles going back, up and in throughout that backswing move. If you have any questions at all, then obviously do let me know in the comments below, and I look forward to catching up with you in the next video. All the best. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you have any comments at all, then please don't hesitate to pop them down in the comments below. Likewise, if you haven't yet, then please do like and subscribe to my channel. It's absolutely going to help you play your best golf. Likewise, it will help me build a sound community of golfers all wanting to improve. If you'd like to work with me in person, you can do so right here on the south coast of England, near Bournemouth, or wherever you are in the world through the Skillist app. It's a fantastic way to get feedback no matter where you are in the world, and be sure to be on the steady roads towards your best golf. Happy golfing.